To another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is episode 79. We're jumping back on the Imagine BloodBorne art contest. This morning I was working on the map. I thought I'd continue the map today, but when I had to go to that meeting, I had to sign some paperwork, and I realized I was like, oh, it's the 23rd. This contest is due on the 1st. And I already started 2 weeks behind, so I said, I don't want to waste any time. I don't think it's going to take me a week to finish this. But I nonetheless want to get it done and out of the way so that way I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I could submit it and say la vie, man. Let life live and all that. So I just wanted to show you, I'm a little further along than this right now, but this is my inks that I scanned in. You could look at my sketchbook. I take pictures and then I just, basically Dropbox those pictures to myself. That way, they work as scans, and then I just bring them in, I edit them, and then I make them the size I need to. I frame them how I want to, and this is that. So, and this is the raw scan. I mean, it's in a grayscale file, so there's no color. I'm sure it'd be a little bit more like beige. You see some sepia tone in there since it was an actual photograph. But I want to go ahead and show you the process of what I do when I do some digital art. Even though I know I haven't shown off much digital art lately, it has been about, now that I think about it, I've been doing graphic design for the past 10 years, and my computer crashed in 2013. So I haven't done any personal digital art in almost a decade. So it's been almost a decade since I've done this. Now I've used these programs and I've done graphic design and I've designed many things and I've done a lot of stuff, even drawing and doing stuff in. But that's like work for clients and I did underemployment and things like that. When I do personal work like these illustrations, it's a whole different, different bag. Using the same tool for a different trade. And what I wanted to do is just show you, this is the raw scan in a grayscale file, and I play with the levels to bring out the black and the white so I can clean it up a bit. So this is more of a cleaned up thing. And then I just wanted to go show you some steps. So that is the levels, and then to show you everything else I did. That's what I ultimately ended up with this picture, at least as far as grayscale goes. I just wanted to make sure that I had all the grays right because it was such a black heavy image, which makes it hard to focus on stuff. So I know that I had to play with the lighting a bit in order to make it the way I wanted to. So let me show you how I got it from here. When I cleaned up the inking, so from this original to here and all the way to this. Now let me see what my layers are, because I know I've switched the layers around here and I have them all labeled. You got to keep yourself organized at all times. I keep the original always, and then I label them however I need to: level, shade, fade, glow, X, highlight. So that way anytime I open up this file, I remember what these things are. I'm just trying to right now remember the order that I did them in. And if I remember, yeah, I did the shading next, which is basically me just taking gray tones and applying them over my illustration. So you can see I basically just made the whole piece a light gray, and then I just threw in some darker grays in and some white, and I just put it in the spots that I needed to. So it gives it a little bit more. So you can see how it just gives it a little bit more. And I also wanted to really highlight that X in the middle. It's there, but you can't really see it too much. So I have that X, and now it really jumps out at you because of the black glow that I put around it. And what I did was I put a glow around it, but then I rasterized it So it basically flattens out the effects into a single image that, then you can edit. And I just shaved it off so that way the glow is really thick in the middle here, and then it shaves off and it tapers off towards the ends. And then what else did I do? I know I wanted to give highlights to the main character since he's like the main focus. So you could see I just added some highlights to him that will go over the inks and brings them to life just a little bit more. And what else? I then, just to isolate the main guy some more, I threw a glow around him, which works like that. See, when I piece these things together, they become very obvious, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you did there. It's when you get the finished product all together that it is like, whoa, something happened. So, and I'll go back and I'll show you again the differences between my raw inking to the digital coloring. Well, this is, I guess, technically digital shading and tinting. And then this was cool, but it still appeared a little bit flat. I still wasn't focusing completely on the main character like how I wanted to. So I threw in this layer that I call fade, which is really a filter layer called filter render clouds. And when you do that, it'll take whatever two colors that you have here and then apply it'll apply a rendering, even coating of the two colors, and it's kind of cloudy looking. And I really love using that tool. And all I did was apply it to the outsides, and I kind of erased everything because it'll cover the entire page. But all I used it for was just for the outsides to kind of fade out the edges a bit, so that way everything in the middle kind of pops out more. Oh wait, wrong layer. So you can see it just makes it a little bit more cloudy. So let's go back to, this is the not the raw scan, but after I played with the levels, made it black and white. So it was like, this is basically the inking that I did. And now when I add shading and tinting all to it, this is what I ended up with. See how it just brings a little bit more out, and that's all I needed. And I was happy with this, and now I've taken this image and I started the colors. So now that I have all the gray and everything the way that I want it for this piece, and I want to keep it dark, but I also want to keep it a little muddy just because it's Bloodborne. This is a Bloodborne contest. I wanted to stick with the Bloodborne theme. I wanted it to be dark. So this is actually a little bit darker than I like to work with. I'd like to lighten it up some more, but I also don't want to, whatever. Stick with the theme, right? So after I finished all this, and I don't need to save any of that, I have my colors. So I saved it as a JPEG, drop it in, start a new file. And now this one's not a grayscale file. This is a CMYK, I believe, unless it's RGB. But I believe I made it CMYK because I think that he might print it. So I don't want to do an RGB file, then have him print it out in a book if he does. And, it ends up getting muddy or something like that. Just work directly with CMYK if you're working with print, which is what I'm doing. And then even if it just sticks to digital, well, you still have a decent, a really nice colored image. So with this, I'm still laying down the flat colors. I just started throwing some colors over it. Since it's a sea dragon, I kind of wanted them to have these coral colors. I'm still in the middle of adding the yellow to them properly, and because I was playing around with the settings and off camera at some point, and I had them all gold, and then I started, I was like, nah, well, this is kind of like seaweed, so I want it to be like seaweed or seagrass, so he'll kind of like slither underwater through seagrass and keep himself camouflaged and things like that. So it's like, okay, so he has that. But yeah, then I have his body that looks like coral. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it some yellow, but I'll probably end up giving it some more color as well later on. I just want to lay down the flats first. So I'm still laying down the flats on this image. It's not all too impressive. As you can see, I just kind of throw in the color wherever I need to. Fortunately, my inking and all the shading and tinting that I did beforehand is doing a lot of the heavy lifting now. And now I'm just throwing in colors. I'm gonna, maybe throw a little shade into the colors and variations here and there. But then I'll certainly throw some highlights in some areas. And then another thing, because the X again is super the focal point, um, and it still stands out really well, but because it's an attack move, I thought red would be a fitting color for this. So this is where I'm at right now. I was in the middle of working on this, and I was like, well, I wanted to go live so I can work on that map some more. But then I was like, well, I mean, even if I'm not working on the map, I can still go live. Like I was working on this picture. Um, I was working on this picture, live before. So why not just do that? Okay. So yeah, let me go back to coloring him in. I believe this is where I was because I gotta clean up some of these edges. And get my other color right. So I wanted his underbelly one color. So it looks a little bit more like this. And again, I'm just going over really fast. I'll tighten up anything that I feel needs tightening up. There we go. And yeah, while I'm working on this, I'm already thinking about how when I add highlights and shades, shade it a little bit further, how much less flat it's going to appear. It's so wild how different these colors are and how the darker color is appearing lighter and the lighter color is appearing darker. I don't really like that, but again, I have an idea of going in and touching it up and maybe it'll give me like an added layer to go ahead and but yeah, so I thought it'd be a little exciting to do some digital art because I know I don't do it enough. Like I said, man, it's been damn near 10 years since I've done anything like this. So I'm it's part of the reason why I was hiding it at first is just because it makes me nervous to work on something like this publicly and to fall on my face, so to speak, and I don't know, just like not do well with it. There we go. And this one, I'm hoping, yeah, it'll brighten stuff up. Look at those teeth. Nice and highlighted. And yeah, I believe that's it for the most part. I just wanted to get that. It was kind of bothering me. I'm sure I'll get more later. Okay, let's get back to this guy's color. Uh, Here we go. Let me get this right. Man, I still have the Max dude playing in the background. That's so crazy. He was able to raise 22.7 thousand dollars for the some charity, some gaming charity, like like games for kids or some shit like that. Either way, how amazing, man. When he started this stream, he goes, we have a goal of 5,000. If we reach 5,000, I'll pitch in my own 5,000. That was what he said. They did that in like 5 minutes. He just finished a 7-hour stream. How insane! And after 7 hours, he obviously, like, every time they raised it up the ante, he he raised the goal, and the goal got up to 25. But yeah, he got up to 22.7. Man, that is wild. Good, good for him. Good for them. Good for everybody, right? Good for everybody. But yeah, I started that stream and I just let it play on my TV when I left to go to the meeting, and then when I came back, it was still playing. That's why I left it on. I was like, oh, it's 7 hours. I could let that ride. There we go. There we go. There we go. Get some nice. Tighten up some of these colors. But yeah, he just finished that stream, and then I just started playing the next one automatically, and it's I don't know. I think in the last stream he said that there was gonna be a Sony or a Final Fantasy video or something. They were dropping something, and someone else, maybe it was like Capcom and Square Enix, but either way, sounded dope, and he wasn't gonna make it for that. But I don't know. I hope he addresses whatever that stuff was, and then I'll check it out later. You can probably see it playing in the background behind my screen. Hopefully, it's not catching enough, man. I don't want to like steal from the man's. You know what I'm saying? That's why I turned the volume down and all that stuff. It's unfortunate. I wish I could play, but I don't want to sit there and look like I'm trying to bag off the man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just a big fan of him, and I like to listen to things while I work. Uh, Somebody who used to listen to a bunch of music and then got into podcasting, and now I watch gamers and stuff. It's pretty wild. sorry. And create a new layer. And call that color. Maybe we'll just do overlay for now. And make it pink. And red. And this is how I rendered the clouds before. So I do filter. I have a selection. I selected over the yellow parts. Render clouds. And then boom, you'll see what that does is it creates this cloudy pattern. Now it's only in a selected area that I had selected, but it'll cover the entire page if you don't have a selection going. I didn't need it to cover the entire page. So you can see it gives you like a pretty even blend, random cloudation of those colors. And now you can see how his color just really popped into some coral. And yeah, I love it. I think it's dope. Now I gotta color the dude. And him. I want him to be... Damn. Kind of on a reddish side. And I'll figure out his color later. But for now, again, just lay down some flat coloring. You see, I wanted him red, but I didn't want him too red. So I'm going with this pink for now, and I'll change it if I feel it's necessary. But yeah, man, I just be having fun with the colors. You know, you don't want to sit there and live and die by them. I mean, if you have a color in mind that you want to do, like, for sure, go do it. But if you don't, you could do anything. Well, try it out, man. Try something out. Try to figure out what's gonna work and what won't. And those are gonna be different. So I think I'll fast forward. There we go. There we go. Alright, so yeah, the Tekken trailer, I think I already watched it with the Polish chick. Shout out to the Polish chicks out there, man. You know, I'm a Polish man myself. It's where the G comes from. NG Mr. Drew. So shout out to the new Tekken character, hot Polish chick, got the sexy scar on her. But yeah, Max knows how to break down a video game trailer though, or a fighting trailer. There we go. Give him a more pale color on the inside of his palms. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, maybe that's not the best. There we go. This color's a little bit nicer. Alright. Give this guy some, There we go. Give him a hilt. And while I'm at it, Go. There we go. Can't believe we're still working on Tekken 7. That's amazing. You know, Tekken 7 to me was always like, I remember years ago, it was like, oh, it's the one with Akuma. It's the one featuring Akuma. And let's do something more blue. There we go. Get some red for his sash. It's falling back here. Oh yeah, this coral's gonna have to get erased. Oh, we're still in brush mode? Come on, I hit erase. And there we go. Yeah, erase the coral off this layer. And go back to the color brush. And let's add this red. And then I'm gonna have a super orange pelt that he's wearing. Go. Which one was it? Was it you? Or was it you? Okay, yeah, it was the right color. Right choice. Okay. And now on the fringes of his shell, make it yellow. You know, like a nice bright color. Wonder if I want to make it a brighter yellow. Maybe it's not necessary. And then his skin, I'll just, yeah, let it be that green, let it ride. This is the soft shell underneath, the exposed muscles underneath the armor. You know, the meat of the crab. Now, I wonder if this was supposed to be green, if I remember correctly. There we go. Okay. That is leather, which let's grab this brown. As well as down here. And some leather. And then that linen. And make it this nice pale yellow. And then he has more metal. Why not just make it the same metal as his sword hilts for now? And if anything, I can maybe even take it a level darker for this stuff. I feel like this isn't even coloring. Oh, it's just, they produce the same color. Interesting. Or just a very similar color. And these patches, I don't know. Let's just say that they're like some army green. Hey, you see, I just make this stuff up on the fly. Again, at the end of the day, we're just trying to make something dope. And I'm none too invested in it. And yeah, now we can see that the colors are super popping. Probably gonna have to dumb it down. I wonder what happens, because it's you know, Bloodborne. So if I dumb it down, you can immediately see like the colors really get muted. That's at 25%. Even if I do this coral at 25. That's really muted. But if I do 50, it's not so bad. It's kind of their style. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it at 100 while I'm actually applying the work. here. That would be good. Like the 130. Do I like it like this? I think I do. Cool. So yeah, let me... What color should his shell be? I mean, I was always just thinking like a regular shell color. I don't know. What would that be? Mostly like light pink. Oy. There we go. So I was getting a little crazy there. I'm not gonna worry about the spikes. I'll color in the spikes different afterwards. This pale pink will be like the base color. Let me at least just get the... And his headband is gonna have to be a certain color too. Hey, what's up, JJ? Thanks, man. Yeah, this is the that art contest that I was working on. I was doing some paperwork earlier today, and I saw what day it was. I saw the date, and I said, "Oh, this thing's due in a week." And you know, I'd rather not wait until the last minute to get it done. So I said I was gonna continue working on the map, but I said, "Screw it. Let me get the art contest done and out of the way, so that way I could just turn it in and not worry about." Uh, there we go. And not worry about whatever, getting it in on time. So yeah, so I was working on it, and as I was working on it, I was like, oh, you know what? I haven't streamed any of it because all this digital stuff is kind of new. Or it's not new to me, but oh, was this the color I was going with? Yeah, it was. Here we go. So I said, screw it. Why not? I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm doing the work. Why not just stream it? You know, I don't show myself doing digital work too often. So, so why waste an opportunity, right? What's the prize? Anything exciting? Yeah, I think it might be a money prize. It might be like anywhere from like 500 to $5,000. I forget what it was. Just because I wasn't too worried about the prize. It's a YouTuber that I really like, and um, you know, if there's a way for me, if there's an opening for me to communicate with him at all, you know, I'll take it. Just because I'm a fan of his channel, and he's hosting a an art contest. Oh shit! I can't answer the phone right now. And he's ah shit. Let me see. Oh crap! I just did all this. There we go. On the wrong layer. Uh, so I don't have to redo it again. Hey, why is this not lining up? That's so weird. Maybe it is. Maybe my colors are just that sloppy. Apply this to color. Shift select, merge. There we go. Apply back to color. Was there a theme? Yeah, the theme is Imagine Bloodborne 2. So there's a video game, Bloodborne, might have heard of it, made by the same people who did Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Sekiro, all that. And the whole point of it is just it's what I titled it. It's Imagine Bloodborne 2. Like literally imagine anything that could be Bloodborne 2 and draw it. So because it was so open, um, and I only know like a little bit about Bloodborne. You know, I've watched playthroughs of all the video games, so I only know enough is like from like what I've seen. Not anyone ring the bell. Oh wow. So it's a video game that's like super scary. I shouldn't say scary. But you're in the Demon Souls and the Dark Souls video games. They you fight. You're like a knight that fights monsters. You know, which is no big deal there. But the whole thing that got them popular was, you know, they started this years ago. The games are known for being extremely hard, but there's no death. Like if you die, there's no like reset to the home screen or anything like that. If you die in the game, you just continue playing, but you play as like a soul, and then you have to go recapture your your essence or something in order to continue playing. It's pretty cool. So that way there's no game over or anything like that. Oh shit, I got low battery. So, never heard of that. Sounds cool. Yeah. So, you know, they're popular games. And like I said, I never played them. I watched some playthroughs. But, what am I trying to do here? There we go. I'm gonna make that like that. But yeah, they're super cool. I have the art book for one of them, just because, you know, I thought it'd be worth it. For, so I got the art book, and I was like, you know what? I could draw something for this, and if it's allowed to be anything, it's like, hey, just make it dark. And oh, the video game developers, they're big fans of an author named H.P. Lovecraft, and H.P. Lovecraft was a horror book writer, kind of like Stephen King or something like that. He wrote a lot of horror novels. So even that, uh, all the video games that they made, they all kind of focus on horror one way or another. So I said, you know what? I could draw something. I could design something real quick, and you know, if I win, I win. That'd be super cool. But really, I'm just into really just into the idea of. He said that he'll only have like a handful of winners out of all the submissions, but he'll try to make a book out of all of the submissions, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Because I'm sure if he's going to be a part of a book, he's really going to pump it, and a lot of people like him and follow him. So a lot of people will probably end up getting that book that he's going to be a part of if it gets made. And if I can get my artwork in there, I mean, for me, it's just like a little bit of exposure. If I can get exposure from this, like that's my end goal. But if I actually like win, holy shit, that means that means like that, you know, that'd be like double exposure. Free sketchbook ideas. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's all that this is about, and it's due April 1st is like the last due date to submit something. So yeah, I was like, "Oh, let me just go and finish that right now, and then I'll jump back on to working on my personal stuff." There we go. And what I have, I went to yellow for that, right? Bright yellow. Let's do a bright yellow for his mouth and his cheeks up here. So yeah, I don't mind. And the whole thing, another thing that I'm doing with this is, working on my own ideas. Since I'm in the middle of doing like character designs and all that stuff, I just, I mean, if you look at the sea dragon design, it almost mimics the sea dragon that's in my sea dragon the map picture that I have, not the ice dragon, but the one that was in the water. It's a similar design concept from that one that I put onto this dragon, and all the hermit character that I've been working on lately resembles this guy a lot as well. So it's like, oh, okay, this is just an opportunity for me to not only uh, work on this contest, but to also uh, work on my characters all at the same time. And then I get a dope piece of digital artwork out of it. I'm just trying to monopolize as much as I can on this. you know, I could make one piece of artwork and then just be done with it after one, or I can make one piece of artwork and let it go to half a dozen different things. Yep. Yeah, you got it, man. Here we go. Colors arm. Here. And here we go. But yeah, in the beginning of the stream, I was showing how I did the shading and tinting of my ink, and then here we go. And now I'm just working on the colors. So I'm gonna drop these colors in. I'm gonna dull them down a bit, and then I don't know. We'll see. Okay. I wonder what color I should make these spikes. If they should be lighter or darker. Like if I go with like a dark purple, or maybe this dark blue, something like this. I wonder how that'll look. It's not dark enough. Go darker. Maybe even go navy blue with it at this point. You missed some good stuff. I mean, I guess so. It's it's in the old streams. I was just working on a hermit character, um, but I'm thinking I'm getting ready to move on and work on this character who's like super badass. It's another. I don't know if he's a bad guy yet or not. He's kind of like not a bad guy, not a good guy, just a guy. But he has a really cool design that's based off of a character I created all the way back in college. But he's a lot more mean looking. It looks like a xenomorph from the Alien series. So I'm getting ready to work on him, and I know I had a lot of fun with him when I was designing him, years ago. So now to like finalize it or go fluorescent. Yeah, I might be able to. If I go fluorescent, I'll have to make them glow, which I can do. There we go. There we go. Now, oh, you know what? I didn't. Oh well, I'll do this anyways. What color do I want to make it? There we go. Xenomorphs. There we go. Now how do I want to color this? Now, is that not coloring? Oh, duh. There we go. Just add some seashell color texture to it. Because seashells have all these like fading colors and stuff. There we go. Nah, not that color. That's amazing. Okay. I'll probably just let it ride like that. Yeah, so I was talking about how it's like really colorful now, but once I dumb down the colors a bit, like drop it to 50 or something, they get really, really dull. And that'll probably end up being more of the finished product colors that I use. Just because, Bloodborne isn't really a bright and colorful game. So, but you know, one thing that would be bright and colorful, and I might end up doing it this way. Uh, Select color range. Add a layer, drop it here. I don't know if this is gonna look good or not, but it's worth a shot. Yeah, I'll stick with this one. Oh, wrong direction. Huh. Yeah, it's subtle. Fluorescent was not a good idea. No, fluorescent's a great idea. I was actually thinking about making the swords glow. I just wasn't sure if I was gonna do it or not. You know, I kind of like them white. There we go. No way. Huh. And select color range here. Okay. And we'll do the same thing. G, except we'll do it that way. And call this one on screen. And is this gonna work? No. What about? Oh no, that's because I need it to be black. Stop here. No. Go. So what happens if I do it this way? Perfect. White. Okay. I'll take. I know it's getting funky, but I just wanted to try. See if this will fade it out some. So that's at like 15%. Yeah, so this is actually gonna work. I'm just gonna have to delete some off of it. Same thing with this. Just gonna have to delete some off of it. There we go. So I can delete that so I can highlight him. And then these, I erase it off of him, highlight him. There we go. Let's bring this back to life a little bit. So our main character is super popping. Now I wonder if I select. Maybe. Okay. I can't dial it back too much. Crap. Highlight layer up. Is the highlight even doing anything anymore? Yeah, it is. Okay. Cool. Let me just now just highlight some more stuff. There we go. There we go. Where else do I need to highlight some? It's like 1 at night. Oh man. Peace out, man. Thanks for stopping by, JJ. Good night, man. shit. Running on low battery on this one too. There we go. So I guess that. Oh man, he's gonna play. He's playing Dragon Ball Z. Oh. Okay, so I guess I'm all caught up on my Maximilian dude stuff. I gotta catch up on some podcasts. It seems like all of them drop on Mondays. Okay, 250. Select color range. 100. Localize clusters. There we go. Alright, so let me. I'll just throw on some nerd soup. Starting to come together piece by piece. I don't know how much I like this. Like, I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. That. There we go. Works for me. Turn this up a little bit. Hey, you know what? I need to grab some water, man. Oh well. BRB. Oh. Okay. There we go. Oh my god, come on.
from creation to alien robot. So you have some avenues to go down there. Wait, so is it a combination of both? Is it Godzilla from the gym, or is it a different Godzilla? No, it's a different. It's like I said, it's either an alien robot Godzilla. Not as cool. I don't like that one. Alien robot or Mecha Godzilla is a term. Man-made giant robot Godzilla went to China. Oh shit. So that's your bigger draws. I mean, we need to see them team up. Where, as much as I want to see them fight, I want to see them work out together. I mean,
Well, we've seen like Batman definitively beat Superman in BVS.
yeah, I guess. They would kill him. I don't know if they would be able to. The definitive win with monsters means that the other one's dead.
No, like Kong has him.
You know, the monsters could come and separate them.
Kong, Kong has Godzilla. He got
Not the
Godzilla.
ghost. Ever.
Can't say never. Can't say that. Yeah, Kong. Kong has Godzilla in his back. He's ready to pound him, punch him in the face, and just lets him know, like, hey, I'm daddy.
Yeah, you're my bitch.
Yeah. Oh shit! Look, big metal Godzilla. Yeah,
I would love that film. And the next one, because either way, you're gonna have half of your audience disappointed. So like my guy gets the shit kicked out of him, and then Colin's like, "Get up, I actually need your help for this." You idiot. Yeah, but then the next movie, not friends, don't just shoot. Except for you, but I'm the alcohol. The next movie, we see what happened with that little trick.
Oh, Godzilla threw the fight.
Yeah, Godzilla knew that Kong could have this one in order to make a decade after.
Exactly. Yeah. Like,
Wow, that was
it's smart. So who really won? The fans.
Okay. Let me just double check. Recap. This is where I started. It's a good start. Do a little bit of color on here. I like it. Do the coral on there to color the dragon. A little bit more like a coral color. I like it.
the logic's on Godzilla's side, history's on Godzilla's side.
See, faded to black.
All the public figures on his side. I'm not gonna just name drop all the public figures.
What public figures?
Can you name one public figure on side? Yeah, yeah, I know that one.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, he knows all about competition. Yeah, man down. He has been won.
The little joint. It's a little joint from Godzilla.
You can see it because he went.
Yeah, don't.
Godzilla. I'm happy that it's over.
Alright, so.
Nothing.
That's all I can really say. I'll see what it was. Maybe switch my words. Alright, let's move on to the next story. Zack Snyder confirms his Justice League will not get his sequel. Actually, I don't remember her name.
What's this
I've been
looking
trolling
like?
on Twitter all day because she just came out and said, yeah, not doing the sequel. She is the president of HBO Media. She was asked several questions about the future of DC
There we
movies.
go.
One of them about a possible sequel to the
Yeah,
Snyder Cut.
just fade
And another
that
question about a
area.
possible David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. To which she just flat out said, "We are not working on a David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad." The next question.
Thank you.
Did you think that this was coming?
Yes.
Well then, every great historical event is always
Alright, so if
isn't it
this
a brief,
was.
yeah, there's a brief.
Look, I totally support directors being able to
There we
get
go.
their vision out there. But at the same time, like, so the situation around the Snyder Cut was completely different than Ayers. Obviously, there's studio interference. It can't happen all the time. So we go back and re-release every fucking movie that's the studio ever put their hands on. I feel bad for him, but at the same time, what he shot, like, wasn't good. He
Okay.
still, like, he still
And
made those scenes and put them in his movie. It wasn't like he got cut and someone else came in and was like, shit. So his vision, it might not have been edited the same way, it might not have been completely allowed to put what he wanted to put in, but the shit
add
that
some
did come out was
highlights.
better than it's fucking awful.
It's also with Snyder, like you said, it's a different situation. We know that he didn't get the chance to finish his vision. David Ayer chose to play the good company role by saying, "This is my cut. This is the Ayer cut. The theatrical cut is my cut. I didn't need any more time. You could have stayed. Don't want me." Right. And now, over the last few years, he's been letting go. So the momentum's not there for him.
Oh, she's on Twitter right now.
Whew. Okay.
I think the fans who really wanted the Snyder cut wouldn't mind seeing a longer cut of Suicide Squad, but it's just not as important.
I mean, it's
It's
more or
still
less
different.
there. It's more or less done.
Some really cool icons. The movie that's supposed to be the DC movie. It's different. You're gonna get a fourth one. I mean, Snyder already had his fourth one for this whole debacle. So like I said, the situations. It's a miracle that the Snyder Cut exists.
So I guess I should probably run some shades as
No one
well.
wants this besides the hardcore,
Run them underneath.
DCEU fans.
Yeah, I'm already working on a movie with the same actors. It's basically self-leading.
Was the Snyder Cut? Like you said earlier in the launch, like just a quick answer. Was the Snyder Cut good enough to get a sequel? Like, because I know we posed the question, is it going to get a sequel? And we said that if it's good enough, it will. Do you guys think that it was good enough to get a sequel?
If it came out in 2017, Zack Snyder, let's just say we got the finished movie and it came out, I think it would have been something.
Alright, that's too dark.
But then again, you still have the problem with the Ben Affleck and Cavill.
So go for lighter.
Plan was to shoot that movie. So, I mean, the thing is, the Snyder Cut works so well as a 4-hour movie. I don't know. It's so hard to imagine what this ultimate movie would be when this movie is finished. We don't know what his finished 2017 Part 1 version would look like. Because it wouldn't have been 4 hours, obviously. Or if you're still going to have these actors. I wanted these actors to stay. No, but the actors, they were all there on set. So they were filming this movie. I'm talking about the reality where they just finish it. We just don't know what it is. But in terms of, like, is
Come
this
on.
movie that does exist considered a sequel? I think it's going to happen. I really do. I mean, I would like to see it happen because I am a big fan of the cliffhanger. Like, we used to go about it. It's this really weird mixture of a satisfying conclusion, but we're still looking at it. Okay. I think it would make sense for them to do it. I mean, they're already doing it. They're already making 17 movies about each character and each operating in different worlds. Why not? It doesn't hurt. Fuck it, right? Just do it. And he mentioned that their plan now is to consider the 2017 movie canon and build off from there. But the endings aren't that different. Like, Aquaman still makes sense coming out after the Snyder Cut, don't you agree? Wonder Woman 84 doesn't change whatsoever. That seems
They're
fine.
affectionate.
Actually, there.
I mean, kind of. When you think about all that shit happening 20 years before this movie came out, like the Maryland setting.
Yeah, but there's nothing that
Right,
is
yeah.
cut that's like, well, that just doesn't make sense.
No, no.
Like Wonder Woman was completely different in the Snyder Cut. They didn't do anything like that.
Right. Maybe the water, how they communicate in Uranus, but
That was already an issue.
Yeah.
It wasn't consistent.
right.
But my point is, if they're making other movies to build off of these characters, you can use either movie as.
Yeah, this is still kind of dark.
Yeah. It all depends on what you want to reference, I guess. Because, yeah, the characters are still kind of the same at the end of each movie, but there's more characterization in the Snyder Cut. But you can just use that.
Doesn't it say a lot though that he is able to see what went wrong with the first Justice League, based on what was wrong, because it wasn't. They did do reshoots for a long time, didn't they? And they could just fix what was wrong in the first Justice League. Like, this wasn't. There wasn't two movies, and they picked 2017 one. Right. Now, yeah, it's amazing how he was able to, like you said, identify first mistakes, really just get rid of a lot of that stuff that wasn't his, and then be able to, with this
Go.
$75 million reshoot budget, to come away with a film that feels like a complete vision. It's like I said, it's a fucking miracle, right? To know like what spots went wrong, what they did wrong, how to catch a feeling in the scene. It's just fucking cool. Yeah, said a lot about it too. And the stuff they said about the villain and Darkseid's presence, I would like to see that explored in the sequel.
Yeah, it's just tough because all these other projects are happening moving forward. It's a bit of a mess. So I don't know.
And it's already a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, how does it get messy when you just got through this past weekend?
It's not.
Yeah. But at this point, it's like, throwing more fire on a burning kitchen. The building's coming down. It doesn't matter. Let's start making more money out of it. Right, yeah. Milk this thing. Yeah, I thought you'd be excited about this. This is a big sign.
I would. I said I would like to see this. I want to review. I want more from this world. But I just don't know if it makes. If Zach would want to do it, Ben Affleck is going to do it.
You know Zach wants to.
Well, he wants to move on. He's been. How many years has his life been consumed?
In a matter of a week, he went from I'm not making a sequel
So yeah, I just need to
Give them $200 million.
drop it.
No, by the time you finish that Black Panther movie, you're already, at least back to normal. Right, that's the thing. Like, if you start production in, next year, the world's gonna be back to normal by the time this thing gets out. Yeah. And so, what do you have to lose? I mean, they seem to lose a lot with some of the movies they get, but that doesn't deter them from throwing another $200 million at some random director for some random franchise. Why not do it for something that's already established? And you know the fans are there and they're fucking going crazy.
We know the numbers are going to speak volumes. The numbers drop, and it's looking good. But seriously, they have to.
There's money to be made here, and that's the leverage that Snyder will have over them. And obviously, he has a relationship with them. We don't know what type of state that relationship is in. Because some of the relationship is there where they didn't retain him, or they didn't push back on the dude to let him finish. So it seems kind of icy right now. Like you said, the numbers come back and they're good, and Zack Snyder gets into the meeting and says, "Hey, we know where this is going. And I would like money for it." Right, like, hey, this creates making some money. I think that Justice League sequel could easily make $1 billion at the box office.
What are the odds are?
That happens. I'd say it's over 50% at this point.
Really?
I do. I just think it makes sense. These things in Hollywood,
There we go.
I will say it's like 80%. This is as much as it is. There's 0 chance they shy away from making money. It's also something that
You said there's a 10.
what?
You just said there's a 10% chance of shit.
Well, I'm not gonna invest it. Gotta have some money somewhere else. You can play it safe because everyone knows shit's is coming. You're coming out. It's going to be coming out in a time, like you said, when people are going to get back into theaters, and you know that the box office is going to still suffer for years to come. So it just seems like a safe gamble.
So you got a perfect movie to put back into theaters. Justice League.
Well, they have to be planning that, right? I mean, the live release. So I don't know if it is in theaters, but
I'm not even sure if it is.
I would go see it as well. 100%.
Godzilla's in the theater. There's no Justice League tickets in this.
All right, let's move on to the next story here. The Last of Us TV show season 1 confirmed to be back for first weekend. And this is coming straight from the mouth of David Druckmann, who is the writer and director of the first 2 Last of Us games, and serves as whoa, executive producer on the television show.
I love that. I love that he came out and said that because that was one of my worries with this show was that how far they would stray from the game.
It was said they are going to deviate some. There's going to be a lot of dialogue and stuff from the game in it, but they are going to diverge a bit.
Yeah, but he said it was mostly like from what I read on the outline that it's going to be like this color shirt. It's not going to be like anything
No.
else, right?
Right. Well, no, he said that they're not going to make the effort to make them that heavy, sure, making that every small detail.
I just want the story to be just amazing.
Right. His quote at the end was, "It's funny to see my dialogue go from the game to most through a script, and sometimes they deviate greatly to much better effect because we're dealing with a different medium." That makes sense. There are just certain limitations, certain things that we can do differently. It just makes sense. When you're on set, when you're writing, I mean, scripts always change. You can have a script and you're on set and something else feels like it's going to work better, so they do that instead. You have to make some changes.
Yeah. I don't think
There we
it's
go.
I think it's different from like book adaptations because but we already have the visual medium that we witness the story.
Right.
So it's not like you're reading something and then you watch it come to life on the big screen. It's a different experience.
Yeah, you want it to that it makes sense from the book to TV. Like there's something there that you can get out of it that you just couldn't from a video game.
You have the actors for it though.
Right, you've got the cast, and this is kind of what I wanted from a television adaptation. If you're going multiple seasons, so you would imagine 4 or 5 seasons is the average show these days, even longer. You have to fill up some of that space. You know, you have to introduce some side characters and put some more meat on their bones for the audience to chew on. You want to expand the world. And
Fuck yeah.
the days that the video game didn't have to.
So this is just gonna make it darker. It's gonna make it a little bit duller,
There's different ways you can show a story.
and in a good way.
TV. Like say if I'm on a mission where I'm going through this grocery store to try to find something and the interactions back and forth, and it takes you like a half hour to get through this and get some of the story through our interactions. You gotta kind of recreate that and kind of put it into something that makes sense into a TV show. Where they have that conversation instead of walking to. then there's big group of zombies that come out, and then there's a cool action sequence.
That's one of my questions is how technical is it?
Oh,
It's HBO. Yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be nice.
yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna try to do that, so that's why that's part of it.
Yeah.
I also like you did say they're going over seasons. I would love if they go season one is uh, Last of Us One, season two is Last of Us Two, and then maybe they go three and four, but they don't keep on with the games. Like this is where Ellie left off after season two, and then like we wonder what happens next, but it's gonna be the shows, not the games.
Okay. I definitely don't want that.
You know, you could be fine games. I love where they left off with the games. I don't want them.
No, because I mean, just reading this article, it's not going to be different. It's not going to be like we watched the show and the book for people who do with Game of Thrones, where it kind of was both canon because they were so close. You know, clearly the show's not going to do that. So we're going to have to look at the show and the games as two different universes. We have butterfly effect.
You know, they made characters in the show.
Ooh, I
And
need to put a shirt on. Give me a second.
it
Let me
doesn't
save this too.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're on season three and you got Joe Schmo and he's everyone loves him and he's played by an actor who's now like $1 million followers on Instagram. So
Right. The story, even narrative eventually, is going to be different.
I think the game is, I mean, it took them 7 years to develop one to do. So
Well, you know, I think this will come out until maybe after the show is finished. There's a possibility.
what happened is where did
I'm
this
just looking for a content summary.
first season come out? Or was it just me? Did they rush it?
Yeah, might as well just wear the shirt I was wearing at the meeting.
That's the thing.
Oh, it's nice.
You gotta visit and read. And
Got my Rasta pasta colors on.
television series may come first, you know, may take precedent.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and if they manage to find a way to balance both of those franchises. So we've seen it done terribly, obviously. So and some friction can start to develop, but we'll see. But yeah, every new interesting piece, every new piece of news we get about this is very interesting.
You know, it's not scary me when they pick, what are those big with the flower hairs called? What are those called?
Loaders.
Bloaters. I'm gonna be. I know for a fact I'm gonna be scared when I was playing. Well, I was scared playing the game when I was first playing.
Alright,
Dude,
let
I
me
mean, that's what they have to do.
rebrush this.
And there's some of the stealth character stuff, whether it's for
With the
zombies.
proper color to match the rest.
The design of the zombies, the science behind them, like you said, the different mutations, bloaters, the bloaters and the crawlers. I was thinking about that. I'm so excited for the show. So when is it coming out? I would imagine next year. Okay. Maybe. I think. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for people that didn't get to play the game to experience it all. Yeah, it's a great story. So as long as they adapt it right, I think it's going to be a massive success. I assume.
Let's hope so. Our next story here is a movie that has been in development for years now. Jamie Foxx's Mike Tyson biopic. Apparently, it's going to be turned into a miniseries directed by Antoine Fuqua and produced by Martin Scorsese. So, I mean, the idea of a Mike Tyson biopic spanning his entire life is very intriguing. Maybe a miniseries makes more sense.
We get that question a lot. The same question is what biopic would like to see? I never know what to say. And this is a good answer. I would love to see Mike Tyson like through wonder if he'll be consulted like through his eyes and through both. I know he was a footballer.
Well, he even did the Mike Tyson play a few years ago, right?
I'm
I'm
not
sure
sure.
it was well received. I think Spike Lee was involved.
Yeah, I think he may have been directed by Spike Lee.
He's had a crazy life.
He's had a crazy life, seriously. And that's in his younger days were probably the craziest part of his life.
Success.
Right, getting to that point. I mean, it was short-lived too, right? His prime was
Alright.
obviously his explosive prime. He had beat the crap out of everyone, but it kind of fell apart.
He was the scariest man on the planet for a while.
He still is. He still might be the scariest man in the world. And, you know, just getting into the mind of that man, that's the thing. There's just so much going on in the life and personality of Mike Tyson. So naturally, like you said, it lends itself to being told and done.
Jamie Foxx was a full blood, huh?
No, Mike Tyson wasn't that big of a.
He was
Fuck yeah.
He was no Nazi. He wasn't like
He was a heavyweight.
he wasn't. He didn't look like.
That's what I wanted to do with the sword.
Yeah, because you're shorter. You're just fucking.
You're right. Yeah, you're not much taller. You could possibly make that better, right? I imagine they may use some CGI in his body. They don't even need it. I mean, you just need to like, I don't even know. They use CGI on Ben Affleck at the end of the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, that's not good. Batman is a really.
Mike Tyson Mike Tyson made fun of two things. Oh yeah, they use CGI on his body in Batman v Superman too. What did he say? Mike Tyson required two things. He's 210 pounds at 5 foot
Straight
9.
muscle.
Yeah. I mean, you can get that muscle. Okay. Well, he wasn't 6'8".
Oh my god.
Well, they'll have to de-age him depending on how he wants to portray it in comic books. And I think they won't have a problem with that. Jimmy Fox is kind of a good-looking dude. Lately, these movies use de-aging technology. Coming to America with Eddie Murphy, where I started to realize, wait a minute, Leslie Jones wasn't in the first Coming to America. This is not a young Eddie Murphy. This is CGI. This is a flashback with Leslie Jones.
Okay.
But it looked so convincing that I thought to myself, was she in the 80s? Was she?
Did you see Leslie Jones's commentary on the Snyder Cut?
I saw a trailer. I didn't see it yet.
Very fucking funny.
Her commentary about Captain America still kills me to this day. When he shows up in the New York, I'm like, oh, you're fine.
Same thing like Grant Cavill. Just fucking texting over him. It was so fucking funny.
She was great.
She called Steppenwolf quick.
I saw a meme about Steppenwolf and her name was like that. There have been some good Steppenwolf films. I like the one with Scott Pitt. That's good. Sad Steppenwolf is funny. Dude, it's funny, man, because in the movie it's cool because like Darkseid gets on the phone with him, and Steppenwolf turns into a bitch real quick, dude. Where he starts stripping off his armor. He's on one knee looking up to him. He's like pouting. It's so funny, man. Darkseid is he's in there. That is shit reference. Sorry. Bad thing. Yeah.
All right. Close that.
What network is it gonna be on?
I don't think they have a network.
Okay.
Produced by nope, they don't have a network.
HBO. Hopefully. Netflix I think could do a good job with that. Pull a lot of people in charge too. It doesn't really matter. But
Mike Tyson got to do well because he's not going to fuck things up there. Could never happen.
you think Mike can remember even have a good job?
What a hell of a life. Well, he's been very open about his life. He has a book out. Autobiography. I heard it's actually really good too. They talk about some of
There
it.
we go.
And they actually read snippets of it.
Let us continue the shading.
Mike Tyson writing. It's fun.
All right. So it's mostly done, anyways.
Does he do the narration on Marvel? No. Alright, let's move
Yeah,
on
I
to
think I just want to shade the body here.
I'm excited because I don't really know much about it. I'm not that big of a boxing fan, but it's such an icon. He's like a football.
Boxing was it during his time. That was like the height of boxing. And we never really experienced it.
Dude, the amount of money that he made in round three, that I do know about. It just goes to show that you can spend that money if you're good at it. It's easy to spend money. Even if it's in the millions. Talking about millions of dollars, Avatar 2 re-release has made $43 million total. And now they're saying they're
jump. He does like 2 jumps, falls both times, skis all over the place, and he fucking just spread out. And like I go like right in the landing zone, so you have people coming and jumping. I'm like, wait. Like someone go down, I see Teddy. You jump? Seriously, nope. And he goes off to the side.
Yeah, somebody else like it was like a
You see this little kid do a fucking 800.
yeah.
Pissed me off too. It does piss me off.
Just
It's
like
just
once
fucking
come
dumb.
down and crazy shots. This question here from Noah at M. Ross 37. After watching the Snyder Cut, is Zack Snyder a good director? And do you hope he gets another shot at another superhero movie? Specifically an MCU movie. To me, one good movie doesn't make you a good director. That's just for me. I mean, that's no secret. I don't think he's a good director. I like Snyder Cut, and I think people that aren't good directors have made good movies in the past. So does it prove? I think it proves that, for me, it proves that he should be making miniseries. I would not mind Zack Snyder Batman Court of Owls miniseries. But I doubt that I'm ever going to be someone who considers him to be a good
Damn.
director.
It's capable. Yes.
I wonder how much work the shading just did. Like I just added some shading to this.
Well, here's the thing: the studio. I feel the studio interferes a lot with Marvel, which differs from Marvel and DC because at this Marvel studio, I feel like you know what they're doing. I guess. Well, the way people talk about Marvel now is as if Feige is directed everything. Every decision is always attributed to Feige. Feige did this. Feige messed up Evans' design. Feige, made this decision, brought in this casting.
I think it's a very interactive process, but there are certain beats that you need to hit to make sense in the larger universe. So I think it's something where, like Ragnarok, I feel like Taika Waititi, that's him all over the place. So it could be something where it's like, hey, we have to, if we're going for this movie, we have to be here, these characters gotta be edited.
Feige's the one making
Now
sure
fill
people
in,
get it.
fill in the blanks.
Exactly. Yeah, DC just doesn't have that guy. They don't. And that's not like a formula. Marvel didn't hire Feige to be their cinematic universe guy. And he's the first one. He was like Sherlock, where he just created the job. So now it's like maybe other studios would do that one day. Get their lore guy to tie everything together. DC just doesn't have that.
But yeah, like I said before, I want to see another Snyder movie.
Yeah.
Even Justice League.
I'm excited for that zombie movie. Especially after Seinfeld.
He is on that. The director.
If he's a good director, if he gets that zombie movie going.
There we
He's
go.
gonna get Watchmen.
Oh yeah. This question here, I can't say the username because the font is I can't read it. But at Awakening Beauty. Question one, why haven't you guys gone to therapy yet? Good question. Really, guys. Two, what's your most hated film? Mine is Synecdoche, New York. And three, in the books, what signs do you think are Archer's super mad queen damage? You guys keep saying she's gonna go mad, and I gotta know why. Or if it's just because of the show. Well, most hated movie, Synecdoche, New York. Yeah, Synecdoche, New York. Dope Stephen Hoffman. Charlie Kaufman. Or you. I think you would like it, Teddy. Or Teddy would.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of them because of Archer.
Really?
Yeah, similar themes, similar story. Anyway, wait, didn't Mark Ruder? Is that him? Mark Ruder?
All right.
Who's Mark Ruder? Why the hell did Mark Ruder come in? Who the fuck? I'm thinking of anything. Charlie Kaufman. Ah, I was mentioned. What did Mark Ruder do? What did I say?
Let's see.
What's your most hated movie?
All right.
I got hated.
So yeah, let me zoom in so you can see
Assassin's Creed, that movie gives you a good idea.
the details. This is zoomed in at 50%.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's already very different. Yeah. University was a team as well. You brought the world together. I hated it. Lucky I didn't ruin it too easily. I mean, the name is going crazy. I think it's foreshadowed pretty well in the books.
There's certain aspects to it, but I just think it's such a big,
Hmm.
like, such a massive.
I wonder what happens
The show you
when I
have
take
to
this out.
in order to execute the whole thing.
Yeah,
If that doesn't happen in the books, then I just can't see something that huge
me look over these rules real quick. I believe. There we go. Yeah, everyone's talking about Justice League. Here's some BVS fan art that I did back in the day. This was still when it was still a work in progress. Did this a long time ago at a convention. But, yeah. Little fun fact, little fun tidbit.
I don't hate it. I don't think it's a bad movie or like an enjoyable, but I hate it.
Okay, rules. The due date is April 1st. Convert image into an attachable JPEG PNG. Submit it to da 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 da. But if it's too big, I'll vote the cloud. No, I can keep it 25 megabyte. In the body of your email, please include. Okay, so. Or any. Where's the rest of it? Written description, you could either write it in this body of your email, make it a part of your artwork, or attach a document with that information. If you have additional questions, just join the Discord link. I'd also like to give a disclaimer that by entering this art competition, you're giving my permission for me to potentially include your art in an art book I'm endeavoring to make. That said, if you are chosen to be included in an art book, I'll definitely contact you and figure out how we can best represent you and your art in this book. So far, I'm committed to getting da 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 da. Okay. Now, was that it? Could have swore there was more to it.
It's like, yeah, finance is out of the picture.
Oh my god, why isn't my text working? I hate it when that happens, man. You keep sliding and it keeps giving you every word but the one word that you're trying to spell.
I think it's more southern than LA.
No, San Diego, they're both southern.
There we go.
Yeah, that is nice.
San Diego's like, what right now is
We're talking about the sun.
I would like to live in Vermont.
Utah's nice. Park City is just sweet. I like it.
You know, I'm gonna put on the Vadi video, and just like rewatch it and see what he has to say about it.
It's 60 degree here today. It was 60.
Seeing as it's Angelo Badalamenti's birthday, 2018.
Okay.
Happy birthday to the GOAT.
I was listening to a lot of podcasts yesterday.
Are you driving around Jackson?
Not normal.
You're a weird guy, you know?
Cool.
That's how I know that there's something in the future about that
Just waiting for like to run for life. Like, yeah, I mean, probably friendship.
That's all right, I'm not worried.
That's all right, now you're wrong.
No, I don't think so. I think you're doing good. That's the thing. If you enjoy not thinking of anything, there's not much that's going to get you into it. Okay. Good for you. quite the homage to the soap operas and that style of television. You lost me. Yeah, he's not gonna. Once I said David, I lost him. You're like, I didn't hear a fucking word out of it.
I was just nodding my head the whole time you're talking.
Texas and I should buy a house in California. Homage. This question here from Max at Dragon 30. How often do you guys think about being done with stick figure guy in almost every day? Pretty much.
About it a lot.
It's hard.
It's like I was like through my life like fucking
Jacob, it's gonna be over.
20 years? Man, Jesus Christ.
It's quality insurance for floorboards. It turns out this isn't a sleeping bag.
Invisalign.
Go.
Fucking Trump report on interest interest. This question here from Nick Hollister at Nick Hollister 919. What fictional mythological animal would be the best pet companion?
Dragon. Like a centaur. Like a cool dragon. A cool centaur.
I'm gonna go with the lion cat from
Isn't centaur?
that mean like
Horse.
horse companion? Yeah. I wouldn't want to have conversations with a centaur. I don't want to know what's going on. I don't want to know how this functioning, how it's working.
You gonna ride him?
You're right. You're right and shit.
Oh, when you say it like that,
You know, really shake his chest for me. Well, I'm just thinking of like, you know, we're out in the west and
What about a minotaur? It's the opposite.
so you're a cowboy. You're a cowboy with a
Centaur.
Image, step forward.
yeah, we're just checking out. At least some of us fine.
You were the dragon.
You're right connection.
We're a direwolf, obviously. One of the wolf.
I want the lion cat from Saga. The comic book.
What, cat dog?
No, no. It's a
No,
not
change my answer. I want cat dog.
Yeah, it's actually I've talked myself into it. Or Winslow. Winslow would like one. No, the lion cat is just a cat that knows the people online.
Oh, so it's not a half lion like that.
He just like a lion after a while. Yeah, nice little lion. Well, it's for other people. Not for you. It keeps you legit. But it's good for other people. If you're a detective. What are you? I'd be screwed first. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna have to go a little bit. Keep it on my list. I don't know if it's his favorite animal. We're counting. We got another question here from Keith. Why did you put out a Twin Peaks revisit? Seems like Aaron is a big enough fan. Well, that's my fault.
I'm the original Twin Peaks fan of this channel, so I'm trying to learn how to play Wall Street. I've seen this game, but I mean,
You're like Superman.
what are you talking about?
I'm just trying to figure out who's the Twin Peaks universe. No, like the
There
Henshaw.
we go.
What the fuck? You're talking about Always Sunny?
Yeah, he's the original. So I just asked. Because he said, you're like Superman. I'm like, that's cool. You know, I think that it was such a, he's had such a great last couple of years, like 15 years in which become a baseball commentator, married, engaged to J-Lo, family man,
Yeah.
come off the schedule. Now it's, maybe not go back down. Hopefully he doesn't fall as far as he fell the last time, but I think
There
he's,
we go.
maybe for now, maybe the Marlins are last time. He'll get back up onto the fence. And he's still huge through your movie, man. Celebrity relationship.
Yeah, not in jail. That's a good thing.
Yeah, stick to marketing, people are paying him.
See the Rock.
You see the Rock too? Oh, really?
Oh, you see the Rock.
Yeah, no, I don't know if there's like transition to something like The Rock. I don't know, did you ever see The Rock actually have an arrow? I think it's, it was the size of my thumb. Right. You know no, she has to give that back, right?
It's up to her.
So
I think when you're that rich, it doesn't matter.
I saw the videos, I was respecting the fans.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
It wasn't that bad after. I grew up from J-Lo to,
All right.
Partners.
Right, but Ben Affleck is still an actor in movies, he's still a young man. Maybe not the entire baseball career. A lot of his relevancy recently came from being great as Beyonce. Good for me to wear that. I want to see Channing Tatum as Superman.
What do you think about
Look
that?
at he really standing. Next question here from Spencer 27 Livingston at Spencer. Thanks for joining us. What would Tony Stark's What would Tony Stark's wolf name be if you were Ned Stark's son? Jarvis. Gadget.
Friday.
Peter. Pepper.
Peter?
Tony Stark. Pepper. Teddy, you know his full names edition? Hey, Hancock, I don't know if I'm just going to say it.
Say it.
No,
Yeah, answer the question.
that's not cool.
Answer the question. You can't answer the question. You know the answer? Try hard.
Try hard.
You should think that's yourself.
I tried to. That's why I didn't say anything.
It wouldn't even make sense now.
Because I tried hard.
So all he names that's fucking good.
You named his dog Trial? You know about him? You said it was a horrible name for a wolf. Can you try hard? Oh, wolf's name. I thought it was his. I misread the question.
So you just heard Howard Stark.
I misheard the question.
Lord Tryhard. That does sound some West Coasters last name though. Lord Tryhard, never tried it.
You were going to be like spelled
Yeah.
Fucking Ireland?
You know what?
Fucking workshop. You made the name? This question here, final question from Zach Fox. Zach Fox, thanks for this in. If you could own one fictional weapon, what would it be?
Death Star.
That is, yeah, that makes you the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah. Good luck. No one's not gonna be digging about it.
I think you use it for something. There's really only, the only thing you can really use the Death Star for is either destroying planets or as a deterrence against world domination.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get Earth and I'm gonna have it at least like, you know, like napping the cold. No, I'm living in the Death Star.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just burning and everything. You know, and let people open parties and everything.
So,
No, it's gonna be powerful.
Oh, it's gonna have like a million dollar pretty end for that.
Only like selling real estate, aren't you? Like condos and everything. I'm gonna really juice up the place. And you know, if anyone comes to fuck with Earth, we'll raise it.
Oh, so you're Earth savior.
Yeah, Earth's my museum.
You know, so, but would you position yourself as Earth saver?
No, too much stress. Just America.
Yeah, it's just a title. I don't know necessarily in the sky.
huh.
It's there. You can.
No, well, you know, there's good pilots right now.
I guess I'm very power hungry. Because I like the idea of the Death Stars.
You know, I use it to my advantage, you know. Like, meet someone at the bar, you know, they're like, oh, where do you live? Come outside, we'll talk.
Oh, this is where you
Yeah. No, I come back.
Third
You are
window.
It is my parents and my friends.
I was just gonna say the Raven from Bones.
That's right. I can't,
No,
no.
all you need is just show people about it.
Yeah.
Not really much to do with it. Life story Raven. You can't go wrong.
Why?
It's a whole movie. It's my first of all, no.
It's my
you start soothing? Yeah, no, that's a weapon. That's a, yeah, you can't make that sound. No. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening.
I don't like
to
this.
the podcast for today. I think we'll be back later on Friday. But yeah, thank you for listening to this episode. Share it, like it, do all that stuff. Send us your
You said your favorite one.
Yeah, you know what? I do not like that. And what about you? Terrible ideas. Look at this. The picture still looks the same. Are we blurry? Come on, focus. There we go.
Yeah, he was milking.
I know everything I got. See you guys next week.
Yeah, we runs out next time.
It was over. Look at that. It's finally over. Hey guys, well, Oliver here for one final send off. Now, before I thank you guys for liking and sharing this video, I'd like to thank our very special Patreon pledges. We are very proud of you.
Alright, so I got the body video gonna be playing next where he's talking about this contest. So I'm gonna turn up the volume. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. Because I really want to hear it. But I think for the most part, I'm like done here.
Alchemist will be reviewed by Marissa and yours truly, and Castlevania, which will be reviewed by Marissa and Aaron. And if you'd like to consider donating to our Patreon page, you can visit patreon.com/nerdsyouth and check out some of the rewards we offer to our listeners. And really, we'd like to thank everyone who takes the time out of their day to watch our videos. Patreon pledge or not, your support is what keeps us motivated to keep giving the world our opinions on movies and TV shows and video games and pop culture, even though no one asked for it. We're still here, we're still yapping, and we hope you continue to join us. I'm Bo Oliver, and I support this message.
Alright. Imagine Bloodborne.
Miyazaki said that Bloodborne has stayed in his heart the most. I believe I did it my way, the way I wanted it. It is what most struck me. I feel like this statement will resonate with a lot of people, because people love Bloodborne. In fact, I'd say it's actually in the running for the most beloved IP From has created, even up against Dark Souls, which spans 3 games and reached a much wider multi-platform audience. Basically, Bloodborne has a cult following within a community that is already a cult following. Despite this, From Software and Sony have yet to announce a sequel. When asked about Bloodborne II, Miyazaki said that the decision isn't his to make, it's Sony's, which is something he also said about Demon Souls right before the remake, mind you. So it's possible, likely even, that we will eventually see Bloodborne 2 on the PS5. But what would a sequel even look like? Would we return to the dim streets of Yarnum, or somewhere else entirely? What comes next in the ending with the waking world? Or what does it truly mean to ascend? What new trick weapons would we wield? Which nightmare realms would we explore? And do hints at Bloodborne 2 already exist in their other games? Artists, we beg you. As you once did in previous art competitions, grant us eyes. Grant us eyes.
Eyes are eyes that cleanse our beastly ears.
This arts competition is called Imagining Bloodborne 2, and it's the 5th and final art competition on the channel for the foreseeable future, at least. Artists will be competing for their slots with $2,500, split between the top 10 winners who, along with some runners-up, will also receive a favorable shout-out on the channel. In this competition, you can draw anything, as long as it relates to the theme of Bloodborne 2. So whether your strength is in environments, weapons, bosses, enemies, NPCs, it's all on the table. If you're interested in competing, you can learn the explicit rules and guidelines at the end of this video, but until then, for the sake of everyone's insight, I want to discuss the themes, the allure, and the lore of Bloodborne. A good place to start in understanding the story of Bloodborne are the couple of overview videos I've done on it. Alternatively, you could also go and read Pale Blood
I'm gonna
Hunt,
blur
a
this out.
comprehensive essay by DMC Redgrave. By furthering your understanding of what you do know about Bloodborne, you'll naturally get an idea of what you don't know, which could be important if you're trying to imagine Bloodborne 2. For example, the game could be a prequel, set in the age of the Tumerians. Or maybe it could be a sequel, taking place after one of the endings. Or maybe you have the knowledge to imagine something else. Maybe a sort of parallel story that occurs somewhere else entirely. Of course, course, thinking on a smaller scale is just as valid for the art competitions. Maybe you just want to build out a faction, like the Varlords, or the Powder Keg Hunters. Maybe an item description hints at an area outside the game, or maybe one of the stories in the game just helps to inspire the weapon that you're designing. My point is, knowing the lore will go a long way in inspiring you for a sequel, and it's best to incorporate lore somehow. When we started playing Bloodborne in 2015, we thought we had a grip on what it was. Just a stereotypical Victorian era horror story, right? Infected townsfolk, trench coats, werewolves, night of the hunt. Got it. You think you know what you're getting into until you don't. Sooner or later, something should feel off. Maybe it was when you found the aliens tucked away in the woods. Or perhaps it was when you gave that password at the door, only to find that you were talking to an inanimate corpse on the other side. There was that moment when you were lifted into the sky and crushed by an invisible force, and God forbid you have enough insight to figure out what you were just crushed by. At the core of Bloodborne isn't really the werewolves. It's not the gothic architecture, it's the fear of the unknown. It's the idea that mankind is swept up by the tides created by greater beings, and that the truth is so vast and terrifying that it will destroy you if only you could understand it. The developers even built this concept of terrible truth into the gameplay with a mechanic called insight. Insight is a resource that you gain when you witness certain things. Things like seeing the cleric beast for the first time, or witnessing the aliens tucked away in the forest. Insight can be used to purchase powerful items, but having too much can actually be a burden. Some enemies gain more attacks, your frenzy resistance is reduced, and you might also start to see and hear unsettling things. So the developers were definitely trying to create something with the insight mechanic that represents both the human desire to seek knowledge and also the inability of the human mind to comprehend terrible truths. That's cosmic horror, and that's Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft pioneered this sort of horror back in the early 20th century, and if you want to better understand Bloodborne, then you should definitely go and read some of his stories. For example, The Shadow over Innsmouth largely inspired The Fishing Hound. Mountains Over Madness has great analogues to the Chalice dungeons, and The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadaf references many worlds of Kree and Nightmare. If you're looking to enter the art competition, I have no doubt that you will find a ton of inspiration in the Lovecraft mythos, especially if you go and read some of the stories that I didn't just mention. Now, while I consider Lovecraft to be largely inseparable from Bloodborne, I feel like the Victorian era Gothic vibe isn't. I think it kind of fascinating to see Bloodborne II take place in a different cultural background. I've kind of speculated on this before in a video I made back when Shadows Die Twice teaser wasn't confirmed to be for Sekiro, and it got me thinking then about a sort of Japanese Lovecraftian horror. And personally, I'd love to see the influence of the Great Ones spread to different historical settings. But what do you think? It's also possible that the aesthetic of Bloodborne is very rooted in the Victorian era. The question is, do we think that this Gothic setting could be meaningfully expanded in a sequel, or would we prefer to go somewhere else entirely? I think both options are valid. There were even rumors a while back that an Aztec setting could be a future place for From Software to explore. Coincidentally, this was around the same time Derasene was released, which is a PSVR game made by From Software that naturally very few people had the hardware to play. It was a good game, but ultimately most people heard about Derasene because it contained a few references to Bloodborne, most notable being the small doll, and perhaps this book titled Blood and Bones, along with an intriguing description that you should pause and read on screen. The cover features a lightly dressed
There we
boy
go.
equipped with what look like claws in his left hand, with a bird returning to his shoulder. In order to render this in more detail, I commissioned Sebastian Francini, who is an incredibly talented illustrator whose work has actually kind of become the face of the channel in recent months. Please go and follow their socials down below. They're an amazing artist. This is our take on the character on the book cover, but it's not the only way you could interpret it. This moon could actually be a sun or an eclipse. Perhaps these are crows, ravens, or eagles. Perhaps it's this Mesoamerican themed desert Aztec warrior, or perhaps it's just a classic hunter. What do you think? Many people, including me, speculated that these references in Derasane could actually be a nod towards Bloodborne 2, and enough people were saying this to the point where From Software actually commented, which is pretty rare for them, saying that they just put these things in Derasane as Easter eggs, and that they did not intend to cause great inconvenience to Sony by spreading these rumors. I hardly feel like hype for a Bloodborne sequel is a great inconvenience to Sony. It's probably a good thing from their perspective, if anything, but I do kind of feel bad for helping to spread those rumors. So I will say this: the last thing I want to do is put pressure on From Software or Sony to create something that they don't want to make. Hell, myself and many others I know actually think that Bloodborne stands very well on its own and doesn't even need a sequel at all. But that said, speculation is fun, art is good, discussion about Bloodborne is healthy, and these competitions exist in their own little world and should be considered separate from any official endorsement from Software and Sony. But I really can't imagine that Sony aren't courting From Software in some way. They must be a really enviable developer to work with. Sony was really pleased with the success of Bloodborne. From Software's Sekiro went on to win a major Game of the Year award, and now Sony has the PlayStation 5, which will eventually need hardcore fans to drive
Oi.
hardware sales. So I would love to see what the next gen Bloodborne would look and play like, especially because console players are finally going to understand how painful 30 frames per second has been this past generation. And that kind of brings me to gameplay. Bloodborne's gameplay is defined by a few things. First, there's the health regain mechanic, where you can recoup some health by striking back at an enemy after they've hit you. Second, there are trick weapons that transform with a button press to present this wider array of attacks. Third, Bloodborne's combat really revolves around dodging, which contrasts with the blocking focus of Dark Souls or the parrying focus of Sekiro. Fourth, blood vials heal you quickly and can be farmed out in the world. Fifth, the map design loops back on itself quite often.
There we
Many
go.
opportunities for shortcuts. And lastly, insight.
Yeah, I think this will be it.
Of course. And
I mean, I'm
mentioned
super
these
happy
things because if you were to imagine
with how this turned out.
how would you innovate on this gameplay? Would you innovate on this gameplay? Personally, for example, I'd like to see more fast-paced hunter-style boss fights and less giant monster boss fights, since I think Bloodborne's really fast style combat really shines in 1v1 combat with chip damage. Second, I'd probably innovate on the dodge mechanic and probably give some sort of bonus if you dodge a melee attack perfectly, similar to how if you parry perfectly in Sekiro and knock them off balance. And third, I'd like to see more weapons, especially ranged weapons and arcane spells, which I think is really limited in the original game. If you have any criticisms or thoughts like these, then work them into your entry, make your feelings known through your art. And I think most entries should mention gameplay in some way, not all of them, but it probably can't hurt to mention something about the gameplay, right? So, for example, if you're designing a trick weapon, you should make the weapon movesets and transformations and range and maybe even damage very clear. And bosses might have paragraphs about their different phases and movesets. Or maybe you want to talk about how your NPC that you drew might react when they get aggro, that sort of thing. Even environments might have a line or two devoted to gameplay, whether there's environmental effects like poisoning or freezing, or how the player traverses the environment, or what they experience within the environment. This is all most likely worth a mention. It helps to ground the player in the world, and we are imagining a video game, after all. I actually also made a community post asking what people would like to see from Bloodborne 2, and it received over 3,500 replies, so if you're having trouble getting inspiration for your art competition, go and comb through that post, and also the comments in this video, maybe you'll realize that Bloodborne 2 should be a Bergenworth high school dating simulator with microtransactions. Who knows? I'd also recommend looking back at the previous 4 art competitions for a better idea of what criteria are important to the judges, so you can turn your concepts, whatever it is, into a front runner. I can't wait to see what our artists can come up with. I seriously feel like we have some of the most talented artists in the industry, in the community, and I hope that everything I just talked about serves as a good foundation for your inspiration. So now let's talk about more explicit rules and guidelines for your submission. The due date for your submission is around 2 months from now, on April 1st, 11 PST. There's a tiny bit of leeway on this, so don't stress out if you're a day or two late. Make sure you convert your image or images into an attachable JPEG or PNG and submit it to BloodBorne2challenge@gmail.com. Try to render your image in a size that can be attached to an email, but if it's too big, please upload it to a cloud service and link me to it, and make sure that you have your permissions set correctly so that I can view it. In the body of your email, please include the name you'd like to go by, your PayPal address, and a link to your artist portfolio or social media if you have them. If your submission has lore, gameplay, or any written description really, then you can either write this in the body of your email, or you can make it a part of your artwork, or you can attach a document with that information. If you have additional questions, just join the Discord link in the description and check out the FAQ channel and our art chat, where moderators can answer your questions in real time. I'd also like to give a bit of a disclaimer, like I did in the last video, that by entering this art competition, you're giving me permission to potentially include your art in this art book that I'd really like to make. I want to immortalize these entries in a better format than video, and I want the art book to feature people who weren't just in the top 10. I want to open it up to a lot more people and give them a bit of credit as well. So, if you're chosen to be in the art book, I will of course contact you, and if we can figure out how to best represent you and your art in the book. And so far, I am committed to getting every artist who is included a free copy of the book, at least, if it is ever made. And I'm also working on some other methods of funding your reimbursement as well, but I can't confirm that this will happen at the moment, but I am trying. So thank you for your contributions to this community. Art competitions bring myself and everyone who watches them so much joy. So thank you. I can't wait to see what you create. Seriously. And I'll talk to you then.
And what's today's date? Is it 03/23/21? And type color is gold. Three. Okay. Where my podcast at? Du-du-du-du. Okay. There we go.
Quality insurance with affordable rates. It turns out this isn't a sleeping bag.
Relationship, if this was 200 years ago, would not be so much fair.
Yeah.
You as a Peruvian and me as a white guy.
Yeah.
And that's crazy that we're partners now.
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
progress.
And you're German descent, so it's real.
Do you ever 100%. I like steel, chunky watches. I actually went over to Watch Gang and I said, this is what I like. Big faces. They actually told me, how big do you like the faces? I said, as big as you can get them. They said, what do you like? Leather? No, it's like shower with a watch. I said, I like steel. I love a good steel watch band. It makes me feel like an adult. Bro, I get this pack in the mail, 3 watches, on like a cylinder instantly.
get started now. Use the code BEARS for 20% off your first purchase. That's watchgang.com. Variety pack. It's a limited edition variety pack that combines the refreshment of seltzer with the classic taste of your favorite cocktails, and it's still only 5% alcohol, 100 calories, and gluten-free. Every variety pack will take your taste buds on vacation. Featuring classic lime margarita, mango mai tai, strawberry daiquiri, and watermelon mojito is the best. I had a watermelon mojito the other night in my backyard with a scar. I swear to God, I felt like I was in Cuba. Tom, you know what that would be like. Anyway, they really are fantastic. Naked, it is so small it hurts my feelings.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If I do any type of exercise, I can feel it start to retreat. And if it's like intense cardio, I sometimes had to reach into my pants
And pull
my
it out
dick
of my body.
Out of my
body. I had to pull my dick out of my body before.
Inside my
It goes
body.
back inside like I'm getting recircumcised.
Yeah, I can't even.
I am so glad you said that. I feel like I was the only one that when I was really fat, I was riding my bike from Philly to Atlantic City, and when I sat on a bike in Philadelphia, I was doing this for Preston, or I don't know who Preston is, but I did it for them. When I sat on the bike, my dick went into my body, and I went, this is gonna be really uncomfortable for 65 miles.
Yeah, and also, but that's the physical part. Psychologically, you're like, why is my dick inside of me right now? You know?
Yeah.
Like right now, I was driving here, and I drank a bunch of water before I left the house, and I was like, oh, I don't think I have to pee. So like halfway through the drive, it hits you like, oh, you gotta pee a lot now. And then I could just feel my dick starting to go like inside my body. When I was in recovery, at one point I had to sit on this commode that was too small, and I'm sitting and I'm like,
You mean every toilet I've ever shat on? Where you gotta tuck your dick into it?
so I couldn't. So you know what happened? My dick went into my body. My dick went into my body, and then but like you're shitting, and I'm all fucked up, and so I had to put the urinal over the hole in my body in case piss did come out. And at one point I was done one time, and I took the urinal cover and I put it down, and the nurse looked down. Oh. Oh.
I'm picturing a very attractive Filipino woman.
She was Mexican.
You sure she was Filipino?
Sure. I double checked. Yeah. And she was very attractive. And it was, I still think about her as I was like, I'm all fucked up right now.
Yeah, I'm
Right now, it's kind of, But I pee. Why does peeing make it go inside me? I don't know. All the doctors out there, all the med students that are watching, get back to us.
Yeah, my daughter saw my dick once, and it was a fucking.
How old was she?
It was like a year ago.
What'd she say?
Both of them saw it.
What, were you getting out of the shower?
I think I talked about it. I'll talk about it. It's gonna be a bit. No, yeah. It was a bad scene. It was a really bad scene. It was
Bad
like,
scene?
yeah, it was a fucking whole.
Was it a party?
It was like the whole event, and it was bad, and it was
When they saw it, though, did they see a bad version?
the worst version you could ever see of your dad's dick. The worst version. You could not imagine. Like a thunderstorm of excitement. Hey, we're going to dinner. Open the door. What the fuck? And
I want to call this Mexican nurse and be like, it gets bigger. Like, I want to actually go to the hospital and be like, can I show you my dick real quick?
I think that's actually a good defense. If you get caught texting dick pics to people, just
Yeah.
go, actually, they walked in on small.
Well, and I was just,
letting her know it gets bigger.
yeah.
And they're like, okay, that makes sense.
Like, I want to tell her, like, no, it gets like 1,000 times bigger. Like, I don't think you understand.
That would be great. I would be great to know. I would love to know at my dick at my smallest,
Yeah.
how much bigger it gets. Because 1,000 is probably too big.
No, but it does grow like 1,000%.
So wait. So I'm watching. This
Hmm.
is like I'm trying to be mindful because my brain is not right at all.
Oh, no.
Like, but even like what makes me laugh is like it's not like no one gets it sometimes. Like I'll do something and I'll think no one gets it. And then you just sometimes with
No, we've seen your ass.
sometimes with a joke you just need one person to get it,
Yeah.
and then it becomes funny.
That's true. That's true.
Like and today it was on Modern Marvels. I'm obsessed with History Channel right now. It's on Modern Marvels, and
Your regular history buff.
yeah, no. And they were talking about gigantic meals. I almost videotaped it. I didn't, because I said I don't need to have this bit of content on my phone because I know I'll post it, and then I know I'm gonna get canceled for it because it's not funny. But it's funny to me.
Yeah.
This guy was giving these kids giant. There's a candy guy. He's giving them giant gummy bears, right? And he's like, there's three boys. He's like, hey, and I have headsets on, I'm running, so I can't hear him, but I'm just doing the dialogue, and it's a dude giving three boys candy. It kind of looks molesty.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, and the kids are like, what? They're all acting, but it really comes off like when Arnold went to that guy's house with his buddy Duncan, and they took their shirts off and played video games. It looks really sexually assaulty. And I fell off the treadmill because the next thing he pulls out is a huge gummy worm, like from like this, and all I heard his smiley says, he goes, "You guys ever try ass to ass?" And I couldn't stop laughing at that, and I was like, "Oh, I should post that," and then I didn't. It's in look at this big gummy worm, it looks like a fucking dildo, and he's typing huge gummy worm.
Oh wait, look at that one right there with the guy's mouth around it. Is that it?
A 3-pound gummy worm. And
Oh
he's
my
like,
god. So that's what I want to do with a Mexican nurse. I want to start.
Type in a huge gummy worm Modern Marvels, because I could not stop laughing. I'll send you a picture of it. Oh, fuck. That is so funny. Now it's sour. I saw that and I was on the treadmill. I laughed myself off the treadmill.
That is a really ridiculous movie.
Dude,
It does look like a fucking double-headed
and
dildo.
it's this guy with these three boys, and he pulls it out like, come on, honey.
Hey boys,
You guys ever try ass to ass?
you want to earn your candy? All right.
But I was like, I don't put that out there. 'Cause in my head, I'm like, I don't want to fucking, I don't, because you never.
All right, isn't this fun watching me try to figure out how to sign this motherfucker? But either way, I'm done. This is it. Let me turn this down. How long have we been going? I don't even know. It's probably been a couple hours. So yeah, this is gonna be the picture. It's gonna be the submission. I'm just gonna do it, drop it off, give it in. I do have a little bit of story, so I'll probably like type up a story and everything else like that, along with the submission. And yeah, I gotta make sure that I just give all the proper information or whatever. But that's it. It's going. Well, we'll see where it's going later. But I wonder if I should just drop in my signature that I always do, and then just drop it in where I have it in the original picture. Because I took this picture before I signed it, and then I signed it, and I kind of like that. I might just like drop that, and we'll just call this a day. Oh well, you just wasted 15 minutes. 15 minutes I'll never get back, or none of us will ever get back. Either way, I'm G Mr. Drew. That's at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Go follow, like, and subscribe. I'm always posting stuff. This is another bit of digital art that I'm doing, or that I've done. And yeah, man. gmrdrew.art. That's my website. You'll find out where this picture is going through there, as well as whatever merch I may make out of it, just because why waste good artwork? I put a lot of time and effort into it, so I might as well put it together and make it work for me, right? And yeah, man, this is the Andrew Glowczewski Experience, episode 79. Imagine BloodBorne Part 5, and we are donezo. I'm just going to drop my signature in where I have it originally. I can't believe I didn't, I was irresponsible enough not to include it. I said I was going to drop in my logo. I didn't like it. So I'm just going to throw my signature in there. And yeah, Y'all, love y'all. Shout out to JJ for stopping in. Y'all take care, man. I'll be back.